What is going on, people? Let's draw some flash. We're going to do a whole page of really cool traditional kind of flash stuff. So I'm going to be using a basic pencil, a basic pen, and some basic markers. These ones are just dirt cheap. They're like twin markers. Don't worry about buying expensive brands. Just get these ones. They're really good. As long as they're brush tip and they're alcohol based, you're going to get some really good markers. Or just use pencils, whatever you guys have. Don't worry about having to buy anything kind of crazy. Just make do what you got. It's that simple. So that's what we're going to use. And we're just going to hold a bunch of stuff all around here. Just really random stuff. Going to make it up as we go along. So yeah, if you're ready, people, let's do this and let's draw together, shall we? So we've got our page. So let's get this all planned out, shall we? So we're going to go, let's just say from the top corner up here. I'm just going to go rough circles. I'm going to go circle here, circle here, circle here, circle here, circle. Don't worry if you can't see them too much. You know, this is literally just me kind of plotting in a rough sort of shape and size, just so we have a cool little layout. And a lot of times, well, when you draw a circle, it just makes it easier because you kind of have your fixed size. It's very easy to start going way too big for like mini flash if you don't kind of mark out roughly what you want to do in between. So we have a whole bunch of circles all kind of sketched on here now. So now we have this, we can just start sketching some really random things in here. So try not to think too crazy about it. Just try and draw the first thing that pops into your head. So I'm just going to go to here. I'm going to go, okay, boxing gloves. So I'm going to go oval shape. There's a circle in there. And then I'm going to go this kind of box shape just to the top, just there. So on the other side now, just reversing it. So I'm going to do oval shape, circle, box shape, two little lines, and a dot to connect them. I'm going to grab my marker pen, my pen, just to begin with now. So let's go over the top, shall we? So around that oval shape we just done, let's get a little line in there. Around our big circle, cut a little line in there. Bring this up, line across. Going to create a little bump in there. Now on this side, we're going to go around again, little line in there, curve around, get our boxing glove in there, bringing that same little rectangle kind of space in there. Now like that. Line up, line up. Real simple. So that's our first one in there. So let's go for our next one, shall we? So let's go over here. Let's go say, let's go half moon with a face. So we're going to reinforce that circle. Just draw a slightly smaller circle inside it. So we have like that crescent kind of shape. And then the face was going to get a little sort of line just here, curve inwards. Create a little sort of triangle shape coming outwards, like so. So little triangle, bigger triangle, smaller triangle, just like that. And then on this upper here, we're just going to create this other little kind of V shape, just here. And cut a line inside it, and that's going to create the eye. And a little curve for the cheek. Grab our pen, and now it's going to go over that. So let's go around it. And then when you get to these lines, we're just going to make them sort of curved around. So we're going to curve around here to create a little mouth, a lip. So with those two little lines, we just curved around those. Curve into a little shape we've done for the nose. That little curve we've done for the brow. Curve that around there, that eye. Stitch that V shape just there. A little bit for the cheek and maybe just a tiny little bit on the mouth. Let's curve that around. Now we've got a half moon shape in there. Now let's go for our next one, shall we? For the next one, let's say, should we go for traditional flower? Really cool one. So let's go for an oval kind of shape one, so rather than the basic. So we're going to get an oval shape. Create an oval around it. It's going to get a line down the middle, a line through there, and a line through there. So we divide it into 6. Just create this little kind of curve just around each one of them as a rough guide. And now grab our pen. And now what we're going to do, we're going to create that oval shape in the middle to begin with. You can go big or small. Don't worry too much about the size of it. I'm going to create another oval just inside it. I'm going to create little dots just within the space. And I'm going to go line, 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 line. So we've got those lines around there just to divide it into 2, 4, 6, yep. And now for the outside bit, I'm just going to go wobble, wobble, wobble. So I'm going to create 3 little dips. Wobble, 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 wobble. Wobble, 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 wobble. Now the inside part is going to do a little line on the inside of each one of those. just like so. And I was going to add a few little leaves on the outside. It's going to create this little curve just coming down like this. Little curve, simple like that. One up there. And one down there. So the cool thing, that kind of fits in those little kind of gaps as well. So just kind of like, looks pretty good. So now we've got a flower. So what to go for next? Let's go for a really easy heart and dagger. Why not? So I'm going to create myself a circle. Another circle just off the side. So I want this heart at an angle because it's going to be kind of cutting through it. I'm going to create a little line just down through the center of that. And then just curving off of those edges of the circles. I'm going to draw a line to there and there. And then we have a heart shape. Nice and easy. Through the middle, it's going to create this little kind of curve shape. So we're going to create this little kind of S bend just there. And I'm going to create this kind of curved blade coming through it. Just a real simple one because I don't go too big. So it's going to curve through here. And I can match up here, I think. I'm going to create a little kind of oval just for the top part. And I'm going to create a little S curve just for the handle. Just there, I think. Maybe a little one on the top. Go to our pen now. Now I'm going to bring in that curve initially in the middle. So that's going to go through there. I'm going to do the top part of the dagger just here, so that part of the blade going upwards. I'm going to get this curve around here, so I've got a handle. This kind of gives us a base to kind of work off now. So just kind of loop that around like so. Create two little lines, just curve into it. Create a line up the center. And once you get here, just create a little V shape, just touching on those corners. Like so. Create that oval for the handle. Another little oval just on top. And now we do our heart. So we're going to go around that shape. Like that. And just get the bottom part of the dagger. Just coming out the bottom. So I'm going to create a little kind of V shape just there for the bottom part of the dagger. Real simple. You see, we're not thinking about it. We're just kind of just sketching them out just randomly. I know it's going to come out perfect, but this kind of thought process just makes it really easy to start getting idea generation in your head. So next, let's go classic cherries. Going to get a circle, another circle next to it. I'm going to create this kind of V shape between the two of them. I'm going to create a few little leaves now, so I'm just going to create this curve and then curve back. Curve, then curve back. Curve, then curve back. Real simple. And now going into the pen now, I'm going to create this little curve like this, and then like this. And then we are going to bring this line up like that. Now I'm going to get the cherry shape. So the cherry shape, I'm going to make it just this little, like so. So it's not going to be perfectly round. You can do it perfectly round if you want, but I like my cherries to be that little kind of like slight, what's that apple shape in a way? You can go there. And then we've got this free leaf here. For this one, I'm going to basically join these up. So I'm going to go like this. Just like so. And then I go a little line just in the center of these. Like that. So we're adding them up now. So next one, should we go for, let's go for a skull. Skull's always a classic one. Alright, so for a skull, we are going to, let's get one on this side. So I'm going to start with the circle, curve line down, create this little kind of box shape at the bottom. Just bring a little line across, cut up into it. Just make sure the circle's got a bit of edge here, so there's got this little dip on the corner bit. And on the inside, I'm going to circle there, circle here, triangle in the middle, and a line in the middle of that box bit just there. So that's going to be my guide for drawing the skull now. So I'm just going to bring in that nose to begin with. It's going to give us a base to work with. So we have that. I'm going to create this little curve around. So it's going to curve around that nose. I'm going to go wobble, 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 wobble. Wobble, 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 wobble. Now we're going to go around the eye, just like so. So I'm going to go up, go around it, just like that. Now for the teeth, I'm just going to create these oval shapes, making them quite big as well. You know, I'm not looking for the realistic amount of teeth. You know, I'm just looking for like the one that kind of works with the style of it. Create a little curve line, just goes there. Cut a line through the middle of the teeth. The jaw I'm going to bring out quite a bit, curve around, leap around back into it, go around like so, then add the top of our skull right around like so. Little line there, and just on this part I'm just going to create a little wavy line just here, wavy line just there. So we have a skull there. Next, shall we go for... Let's go for our old school classic hard as nail. So let's get some nail designs. So we're going to bring in a straight line, create a V shape coming upwards, cut across it. So let's create a V shape here. Create a rectangular box just on the top. And draw a line, just cutting through the middle of them, like so. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to start off with the box at the top. Just like so. Decide which one you want to have in front of the other one. So I'm going to have this one cut in front of this one. So I'm going to bring this line down now. Just like so. Go to the second one. In the same way. Just bringing those lines. Then just in the top bit here, you can put a line in the center if you want, but I always like to put my line just a little bit off to the side. I'm not quite sure why, I just like to do that. Bottom afterwards and stuff, but for here I'm just going to add these little lines around the outside as well. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Right, next shall we go for, let's go for a classic broken arrow. So I'm going to bring in a line here. I'm going to draw this kind of sort of diamond shape on the end now. So I'm going to create this kind of V shape that's quite sort of tight, and then I'm going to go a bit longer for the end of the arrow. So it's going to be broken. And then I'm going to have the other tip cutting across this way, so making like that X. And we're going to get that sort of like feather bit at the end. So you basically create like a box, but it's like a tilted box. So imagine getting a box and like taking one of the edges across. Like so. And I'm going to get my pen now, and let's add a little bit of detail. So you've got choices with this. You can do like a sort of plain one, put some stuff across it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start off with the base. So I know exactly how I want to go for that. I can cut across there. Then I'm going to get my basic arrowhead. I'm going to create a little kind of wavy line just for the edge, just because why not? Just like so. Shoot a little line details just inside it, just there. Come back the other way now, just underneath it. Like so. Bring some lines going through this. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Let's bring some little line details on the inside. Create a little break just there. So we've got a broken arrow. Now let's go for a cactus. I always like cactuses. So I'm just going to create me a line going up. Going to curve a line into this way. And then one just a little bit higher, just off to the side. Just there. And I'm going to create this little kind of wavy line just at the bottom. Actually, no, I'm going to put a little flower here actually. It's very simple. So I'm going to go circle. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just bring this cactus up just a little bit. And then just create a little bit of body around it. So just kind of like a loop going around that frame you just drew. Just drew. Make sure it's chunky enough because we'll add some little kind of spikes and stuff on it. But now we've got that kind of base, let's just quickly sketch it in. So I'm going to create circles to begin with. Just divide down to 5 little lines. I'm just going to create this kind of little curve, just kind of making one little dip in each one of them. Just like so. I'm going to add a couple of little leaves just on the side. Nothing too crazy. Just like that. And then around this cactus, so we're going to go here. Like that. And I'm just going to bring in a little line just on the inside, I think. So I'm going to go one line, two line, one line, one line, and just around the outside. I always like to put little bricks. So just flick little lines, so literally just curving around it. Like so. Little line, dot, line, dot, line, dot, line, dot, line, dot. So we've got another one there, so let's go for another one, shall we? So next we shall go for, I'm trying to all over my finger now, I don't know why I'm doing that. Let's go for a really small classic kind of swallow. So I'm going to add a circle just here, oval, just here within that sort of shape, and create this curved line just cutting through this, like so. And I'm going to bring in this curve going this way, curve going that way, and just loop around those bits just there, and then a secondary curve just off the back. That's going to be my guideline. So I'm going to get my pen and just watch what I do here. So we're going to get this wing in first, so we're going to create this curve around, like so. I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, and now I have that. I'm going to get the eye in here, so I'm going to create this curve, just like so. It's going to go just out there towards that circle bit we done. I'm going to loop around, just cut into that initial oval shape we done there. Bring this one coming down. It's going to go into that wing shape just there. And out the back, I'm going to curve like this, into those little shapes we've done at the back. Bring this line down, bring this line up here. Get this one back here like so. And now I'm going to add those wings in. So I'm going to curve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Little belly just there. And then just on the other side too. Literally mimic that kind of wing on the other side now. And then for the eye, I'm just going to create a little circle, flip the line back. So that's a cute little swallow in there. And I'm drawing these very rapidly. That's the idea. Like, you know, so I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking to sort of train my brain and just kind of think on the fly. You know, that's the idea of this. It's really good and it's really interesting for doing that because it's just kind of gets you out of the process of like really trying to overthink things. But let's go here now. So we've just done a classic swallow. So let's go for a classic, let's go Panther, side view, I think. We get out the face for it. So, going to get the circle for the cheek. I'm going to create this kind of like V shape here, just for the mouth. Loop this around. A little circle just where this kind of loop meets this circle. Loop that around. Curve that out. Create a little curve just coming off of that bit, so like where that headline goes there. Curve that back in. Create a little curve here, just connects to this circle roughly. Zoom that in there and there. And that's going to be my rough kind of guide for it now. So now go into the pen. So where we had that circle bit here, I'm going to create the eyebrow to begin with. So I'm just going to create this line that's going to go inwards. Go around to where that kind of ear would be. I'm going to create this part for the nose here. So I'm just going to create this little shape here. And this little kind of curve here. It's going to loop and curve around. I'm going to go 1, 2, just to create that kind of mouth. The eye is going to go there. I'm going to bring this bit back to there, just kind of got that eye in there. Got a nice big pupil in there, because it's going to be comical because of the size of it. Create this kind of mouth shape, so I'm going to create this little like double line, just going to create that kind of gum part for the mouth. Get our teeth in here. The tongue is going to loop up, curve upwards, like so, into the mouth. And for the chin, we're going to create this little curve. It's going to curve back, create that jawline. Create the little ear bit, just connecting up there. And then a little bit of neck. Just in there. Nothing crazy, but it does the trick. Next one we are going to go for, let's go for a quick little lighthouse. Almost like a lighthouse. So I'm going to create some quick little waves, I think. So I'm going to create some curvy lines. Just to give it a little kind of base. So I don't want too much detail. I'm going to create these two lines, kind of like slightly coming inwards a little bit, nothing too much. I'm going to create a little rectangle just at the top bit here. Create a smaller box. Another rectangle. Kind of sort of like a semicircle on top with a point. And then inside it, I'm just going to create these little like angled lines coming down, evenly spaced apart, like so. Now I'm going to create 1, 2, 3 little lines there, 1, 2, 3 little lines there. And I might just add a few little kind of curved circles just for a few cloud lines on the outside. So now I'm just going to start off with the basic kind of wave. So it's going to be very much like a classic kind of water wave, you know, traditional kind of style. So let's kind of go up, create a little curve like so. So let's create this kind of wavy line like this, and then underneath it I'm just going to create this kind of curve which is going to cut into this. Slightly bigger one there. Slightly smaller one so you get like a nice kind of like scale of lines. And that one can go there. So we have this kind of base. And now we have the base, we can add a couple of little rocky parts because you often get like little rocks at the bottom. So just create this kind of, sort of like little circular shapes, but just make the edges a bit jaggedy. Bring that line up, bring that line up. I've done a bit more box than I would like, so it's going a bit quick. Bring that semicircle top, just get out there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So create a little window just in this one, little window just there. And then our clouds on the outside. So a few little semicircles just overlapping. Like so. So there for our basic little lighthouse. Next we shall go for, let's go for a bomb. I like a bomb. And where should we put the bomb? I'll tell you what, we didn't make space here, but I'm looking at it, I'm thinking like, I might go for a space here maybe, and move this one down a bit, because I feel like there's too much of a gap in this middle bit, so I'm going to put a bomb in here. Bomb's one of my favourite, and they are like so simple. So I'm just going to create a circle, create a little rectangle, a little line, come that way, and it's going to create this kind of zigzag explosion bit just around where that bit goes. So let's see how good my circles is. It's going to come out terrible, I know it. I can normally do the really good circles, but when I'm put on the spot, I normally come out terrible. Not bad. Create a little rectangle, those two little bits joining up to it. I would normally have like this kind of little circle bit here. A little line there, which will get the little shine off of it. You know, we'll sort of colour it in afterwards so you kind of see. But I'm going to make this little line go up this way. I'm going to zigzag my explosion around it. So that would do it for the bomb. Now we've got a bomb. Let's go on to the next one. Let's go classic diamond. Diamond's always a classic one. So I'm going to create V shape, cut my line across, create a little line just coming upwards, join those lines. I'm going to add two little lines in the center like this, and then where they are, I'm going to bring this line down to touch that one, create a little V in the middle, touching that one, and then cutting those corners. So you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Real simple. Back to liner. So let's sketch this one in. Let's go across. Go across. I said you can take your time. You know, like I'm just doing this for the video and just having fun with these, so I'm being anything but perfect. We have our diamond in there. Next, let's go for strawberry. I was like a strawberry. So I'm going to have like my sort of circle, and I'm going to kind of create this kind of curve at the bottom. So create this like kind of upside down egg kind of shape. And then the top, I'm going to create those little kind of leafy bits, so like little curved line like this. One here. One here. Little curved line just to make the top of it. And the actual bits here, you kind of create these like little teardrop kind of shapes. Will do the trick. And I'm back, so yeah, we've got a strawberry, so I'm just going to go for the leafy bits to begin with. Kind of giving this like slight curve toward the end of them, just to make it a little bit more interesting. Look at that. Let's go with that. Now just got little seeds in here, so you can make them like teardrops or like oval shape, just as long as they're fairly evenly spaced apart. You can't really go wrong. That would do for the strawberry. Next, I'm going to go for pizza. I love a pizza slice. I know that. Something about traditional pizza slices has just been a really favourite of mine the past couple of years. So I'm literally going to create this triangle shape. I'm sure you can guess why. Because it's a pizza slice. Little line coming here. We want to have some nice gooey cheese, so I'm going to create a little crust, and then here I'm going to create this little drip coming down, so it's going to create this little kind of curve. Like so, and we're going to throw in some pepperoni. 1, 2, 3. Like so. And we want the shape, but we don't want the shape to be too dead straight, you want a perfect pizza cut slice, but we don't want to draw a perfect pizza cut slice. It just doesn't look as good. So I'm going to create the crust, which is going to be like a wavy line. I'm going to curve this down. So it's going to come here. Create a little curve for the top of the crust. Again, I'm just going to create this kind of like wavyish line, kind of come across. Curve there. Now when we get to the cheese, so very kind of like cartoonish, comical. Just that kind of wavy line. Same there, and we just want a little crust bit underneath, so I'm going to bring those little lines which can be a bit more straight underneath, just like so. Pepperoni is literally just going to be some circles. And should anything else on the pizza? No, pepperonis will do. I might add a few little line details, just going to put a little line here, here, here. 2, 3. Just for a sake, add a few little extra lines. Next, shall we go for... Let's go for a cloud. Cloud and lightning bolts, I think. I like the idea of that. Have we got enough space up here? No, let's go down here. We are running out of space now. This is one of the things. A lot of time when you first start, you think, oh, how am I going to sort of fill this up? And by the time you get towards the end of it, you're going to realise you're coming out with so many more ideas than you had to begin with. And that's what this whole exercise is all about, to be honest. Now, I'm just creating a whole bunch of like mini sort of circles, just to create a cloud initially. I'll add a couple just on the inside, and then my lightning bolt is going to literally come down. I'm going to curve up, down, up, down. I might go 1, 2, 3. I might just bring this one over a touch actually. I quite like the idea of that being just a bit further across. Just kind of fills in that space like a jigsaw puzzle. Back to the pen. So now I'm just going to start off with the bottom part. I'm going to create my first kind of semicircle oval. And I'm just going to keep flicking these around like that. So I'm like starting on the line, just curving around. I'm going to create 2 to go in the middle, just for the sake of like, why not? Create a nice funny little cloud. And then we're just going to go zigzag, 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 zag. Zigzag, 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 zigzag. There we go. We'll do that one there, and then where else? We've got space. We've got space up. Then we've got space for 1, 2, and maybe 3 just there, possibly. So let's go for a nice traditional lighter, shall we? I'm going to do myself a rectangle. Oh, no. Did I just go to double tap that? Too much iPad, too much iPad. A smaller rectangle, just curving at the top, like so. Little box just here. And I'm just going to create this kind of curved line, like this. Curved line like that. Another one coming down, just kind of get a little bit of flame in it. I might actually make this a bit more of an angle. Yeah, I prefer that. Little circle on the edge there. So let's got our guideline. So now we've got our guideline. Let's quickly sketch that in. You can make the edges a bit more kind of rounded if you want. So we have that. I'm going to get that rectangle. It's going to go dot, dot, dot. It's too small, so I don't want to go too crazy with detail. And just create that nice, simplistic kind of flame, like so. You can add up little details. I might just bring a little line across just here, maybe. One at the bottom, and when we shade it in, it'll look cool. So we have that, and now we are jumping back over this way. So what should we add now? Let's go for a witch's hat. Should better fit this in a gap quite nicely. So we're going to create an oval, and I'm going to create these two lines, and let's call that upside down lightning bolt pretty much. Right here. So I'm going to create the base of the top part first. So I'm going to create this curve here. So making this kind of like somewhat sort of like curved kind of rectangle. And then the base of the witch's hat, so I'm going to bring this line outwards. Well, I suppose witch's hat or wizard's hat could be either. Bring this in. And just create this kind of wonky line around it, like so. More of a wizard's hat, I think. I'm going to call it a wizard's hat, just for the sake of it. And then I'm going to go line, 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 line. Just do a little classic kind of trad star thing in there. So we have that. And next, what should we go for? Next, we shall go for a classic butterfly. We've got space in there. I'm just kind of looking at it and thinking it's the right spot. So, little oval. We're going to create this curve like this. So it's creating this kind of like, almost like a big teardrop shape. Slightly smaller one just here. I'm going to curve a little line into it, like this. Circle for the head. Little line for the eyebrows. And then a secondary wing bit just in the back, just there and there. Back to the pen now. Getting our little circle. Our oval. Have a little one. Little bottom bit. Going to create a little kind of wavy line coming back like so. And when you come back, I always like to kind of curve it just inwards a little bit. Let's go that. Get those eyebrows in there. Then I'm going to go curve, 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 curve. Kind of mimic that line until I can sort of join it just there. Same on this bottom part, just there. I'm going to create a curve on this bit, and then I'm just going to go one line, two line, one line there, and then just two little lines of detail on the body. And that will do it for that. So that's our basic ones in there now. So I'm just going to get my rubber. And I'm going to start raising those lines. You can let your pen work dry properly if you want. I'm putting it out smudging the shit out of mine. Excuse the language. But it is what it is. And consider how quickly we just knocked those up. I don't think we've done too bad. I say, if we take our time, obviously it could be a lot more neater, but this exercise is not about being neat. It's about just kind of like getting your mindset into it and doing it the right way. So I'm going to grab my markers now. So I'm going to go for a black. I'm going to go for a 7 and a 3 should do it. So black 7, 3. So just 3 really simple markers. And let's go now. So I'm going to use the brush tip to begin with. So I'm going to start off with, say, here. I'm going to go blacken these outside leaves and just leave that little kind of highlight on the side, just there. I'm going to try and show a few different kind of variations. A few little experimentations, so some might come out good, some might not. But that's all part of the fun of it. Just going to blacken that center, we don't need that. When it comes to traditional, like always remember, like, you know, like black shading is like so key to a lot of things. You know, you can't go wrong with it. You know, if it hasn't got plenty of black in there, it won't really look traditional. I'm just bringing this little kind of black circle around here. Now I'm going to come in with my darker shade of grey, and I'm just going to work side to side. So go like side to side, don't kind of flick it outwards. You know, go with the flow. I'm just using Bristol board as well. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. I usually mention it in most of my videos. Just really good for markers. So if you have that, try to use that. If not, just use what you have. You know, don't stress about it. Just going over the edges just there. I'll give my basic one. There we go. As it dries, we'll go a little bit lighter as well. So I'm going to give it enough time to do that. I'm just going to keep jumping on to the next one, to the next one. So I'm going to get this black around here. Pretty much everywhere's like a little corner bit. I'm kind of sort of kind of curving around the corners. But at the same time, you don't want to lose your shape. So you don't want to like lose any areas. So I'm just going to go this bit for this one to begin with. So I'm going to run those bits and then just work around those edges and blend them out. And I said, like, work with the shape. Don't sort of like flick inwards. You know, you flick it inwards, you're going to start getting like weird streaky marks, and it's going to ruin your designs. And don't remember as well, like, you know, we're going to have like some colour go over the top of this as well. So the colour is also going to be part of the trick with this shading. It isn't all down to the black and grey. And kind of short and to the point, you know, like short and sweet pretty much with it. So just don't overthink, just trust yourself and use the force. Or markers, whichever you prefer. So just keep working side to side just over these. Upside down and down, like so. I would do it for that one. Now let's go down. Let's go here. You can be systematic if you want, but I'm just kind of like picking ones that are random. Just whichever one takes my fancy. Now once your line work's in there, you can kind of just, you can do that. You ain't got to stress about it. Blackening those bits just there. And this is where I'm kind of going a little bit against the rules. I'm just kind of going down a touch bit just on that. But now that I'm here, I will use more to side to side. A bit from that bottom, just a little bit, just in that corner, just there. Very minimal. I don't want a lot in these nails. Just enough to sort of like give the hint of the shade. Do the trick. I might just go down one more shade one actually. No, that's pale lavender. Here we go, number 2. Ooh. There we go. Right, which one next? Let's go for the heart. So again, I'm kind of like picking out all these kind of little corner parts pretty much. Just when something gets tucked underneath and just pick one of the sides. You know, don't stress about the realism. Like, you know, like a traditional's kind of stylized. As long as you kind of got smooth shading, you know, going in there, and you've got the black in it, it will look good. And that's how you kind of find your own way of doing it, really. You know, it's traditional really is all about kind of style. You know, and the only way you find your style is through experimenting. So experiment, people. Don't beat yourself up. Don't be too serious about it. Just play around. You know, the more fun you're having, the better your work's going to come out. There we go. Do me a black. A fair bit of black in this handle. Down a couple of times. Just going to put this little kind of highlight just here. Don't go too far with the shading. And this dagger is very small, so I'm probably going to skip a couple of the shades. Just so I can roughly plot it in there. Next, I'm going to go for the dagger. Sorry, for the skull. What's a dagger for? So I'm going to black in those eyes to begin with. Just pick out some kind of corner bits, just some edges. You still want to shade in there, you know. So a lot of time people with skulls, they kind of get a bit intimidated. Like, it's like you still want your shadows in there. You know, you want it to be short to the point, but don't neglect the shadows. You know, and if you ain't too sure where to put them, just throw them in anywhere. That's it. Just experiment, play around with. You never know what's going to work. You know, I've seen skulls done countless different ways, countless different times. That one in there. Which one next? Let's go for let's go for the Panther. What I might do actually, because I kind of forgot about last time. Just 2 whiskers because of the size. I'm not going to go crazy with the whiskers. I'm going to bring in this black just here. So we'll curve around like this. A little bit of shading off of that whisker, I can blend out. I'm going to go to the top of the head, but leave that little line just around the eye. Kind of blend outwards. And create a little shine just in the center of the neck part, just here, I think. To the sides, and then back into the grey. I'm going to get a little bit in this nose as well, I think. Blend out with a lighter shade now. And just a little bit of black just on that top part of the nose, just there. There we go. The rest will be in the colour for that one. So now I've got done. Let's go down to cherry blossom. Sorry, to the cherries. So I'm just going to bold in that center part to begin with. Get a little bit of black just on this corner, just here, and just a little bit here. Now I'm creating this kind of thing here. It's going to be like a little kind of highlight on the edge. That's what I'm kind of thinking in my head. Just create that kind of sort of roundness with them. And again, this bit just working over that black. And leaving the rest for the colour. Then on to the next one. So we are, where are we? Let's get our bum. So the bum is going to be very, very black. To be honest, we're going to get a big chunk of black in here. So show that off. Black in this bit. And black pretty much in there. And then we're just going to blend this out for the bottom part. And blend this out a bit more. Shine, but just there, that'll do for the bomb. Next one, let's go strawberry, yeah. So it's going to put that black around the edge. I know you kind of lose a few of the seedy bits there, you know, but always kind of sort of just making your mind like, you know, what's the better judgment call? Is it better with the shade or with little details? You could always have those little seedy bits over the top if you wanted to. I just feel like it's going to look cool with that black bit at the bottom. So don't even think, just do it. You know, the second you kind of get, just go for it. Strawberry. Let's go for a swallow. So we're going to start off with that back area. Yeah, pretty much going to black it out, just leaving like a little highlight on the edge. And then go down to our last grey shade and just blend it out. Like so. And now on the wings, we're literally going to put a bit of black, just cutting straight across it like this. And take your time, don't overlap like I just done there. Go side to side with the other grey, and then your light grey, just blend it out. Next one, might as well get this one done because it's just right in front of us. You're going to have a few little kind of bits just inside this kind of arrowhead, just kind of get a bit of shape and done. So I like it if like it's like made of stone or something. I don't know why, it just always looks cool that way. A little bit of black just inside the feather tip as well. Give me that last light shade. Let's go for, yeah, let's get a cloud done next. Oh, it's quite a storming cloud, so I'm going to go quite a dark cloud with this, so I'm going to sort of like go inside those circles, just without going too far, because I want to sort of obviously blend out the edges. But enough where I'm kind of creating little like sort of circles in the circles, if that makes sense. Just a little dark edge just around the edge, and then a third one. Just like so. The lightning bolt is going to be colour, so I'm not going to worry about doing that in colour. I mean, I'm not going to worry about putting any shade in there. Now the lighthouse, I'm going to put black just on this side. That'll be just there. Inside those waves. Inside the rocks. And that exact same process again. So we're just going to go up and down, just kind of work off the edges and just blend them out a little bit. Just like so. And then I'm going to come over here. Now for this one, I'm going to create this going up. So I'm leaving like the two light strips on either side of it. So I'm just kind of colouring the centre. Like that. Colour in the centre of that bit. And then I'm going to flick up from here, from this top bit. Just pick up a couple of the sides to kind of sort of shade down from and around. You're basically just kind of dividing up the cactus into little dark areas. Shadow there, and I just want that circle a bit more circular, so we're already getting there with the black shades now, and the colours won't take too long once we whip those in there. So you're just picking out the black on the side here.
Maybe just some green light.
So let's get a grey shade in here. There and that. A lighter one. A lighter one for the lighter. Hey. I'm not sure if you guys call them, do you guys call them down in the States? You know, 'cause in the UK we call them lighters. I imagine you guys call them the same, but every now and again you just get a random word which just isn't the same. So we've got that, so I'm going to black in this base bit of crust. Which is quite interesting because it wouldn't normally be black, you know, but I think it's going to make it just stand out really cool. Yeah. Already liking that choice. Just a little bit with that. Just a little bit of my pepperoni. Just a couple of random little bits. Nothing too crazy because I want like most like it's going to be like that sort of cheesy yellow. So just find a little bit of that slightly darker grey and then just a few little bits over the top with the lighter grey. Yeah, probably going to be more reserved with a peach slice than I'm going to be any of the other ones there, to be honest. So back to our black, and let's go. Go there. I'm going to black in this part here, just leaving a little strip just on the side. So you're just leaving a little kind of white highlight. Just there and that. Then I'm going to go, let's go black from the top, yeah. So where we have these three little like line bits going down, I'm going to put some black shade. I'm also going to blacken this back part here. Going to go very, very quite heavy on this butterfly, I think, with the black. Got an image in my head of what I think it looked like, so I'm just going to go for it. All right. Should be cool once we get that shade in there. I almost got to get the colour in there rather. So I've got that, that's where am I got? I've got the moon, the diamond and the hat. Oop, wrong one. Let's go for the black. Oh, this marker keeps getting stuck on me. Then the next one. And let's get so the diamond, you want to make sure you kind of get your rotations right on the diamond, otherwise they get mixed up. So we're going to go black, black, black up here, black up here, black there, black there, black there. Because remember, you go black there, you kind of lose your line. And you don't want to you do not want to lose your line. Again, simple shade up and down. So each one's just literally just like an upwards and down kind of motion. But if we have the wrong ones, we lose the whole shape of the diamond and it just kind of ruins it. The idea is you kind of want the shades to kind of almost like meet up in the middle. Because you just like this, you kind of get the highlights coming down from the top and the bottom. Like I said, once you add the colour, you know, make the last little bit of sense on it. Ooh. So this around here. So a little bit of black just across the back, and then the rest will pretty much be in the grey shades. Just a little bit there, a little bit there. And just blend that out on the edge. Just like so. So that does it for the black. So now we've got black done, let's get ourselves some colour. So I'm just going to go for a nice strong yellow, almost kind of orangey yellow. I'm just going to grab me a red. So let's go for French raspberry. I'm going to get myself a green. So let's get like a nice kind of earthy-ish kind of green. Ooh. Yeah, I like that sap green. And then what else are we going to go for? Let's go for a blue, shall we? I want a slightly kind of muted, but I've done it too strong low, so midi sky. Don't worry, you ain't got exact ones, just use whatever you have. You know, it doesn't make too much difference, really. So now we have that, let's go colouring in. So I want it to be like really nice and bold, so let's just start with the strawberry. I'm just going to start off by starting these red. Now I'm just going to infill this whole part except for those little bits in the middle in that red. Actually, I'm going to colour whole red and everything first. I'm going to go colour by colour till we get everything done. And that's a good way to go. I'm going to go red in this flower. I'm going to go around the edge like this. I'm going to kind of leave that kind of highlight across the edge. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. And then we can colour in these cherries. I'm going to go red, but then I might run another colour over the top, just kind of get like a darker blend. Haven't decided exactly yet, but that's what I'm thinking in my head. So that's giving markers. You can overlap them, especially in different colours, to kind of achieve different colours. It's a really fun way of doing it. So I'm going to go inside his mouth. Just there. A little bit of red just behind the eye. This ear can be in red. And that nose can be in red. The butterfly. That bit can be red, and those bits can be yellow, I think. Solid red. Where else are we going to go solid red? So let's go in this flower. So in this one, I'm going to leave that bit pretty much around the whole edge this time. That's cool. Oh, the lighthouse. Can't forget the lighthouse. So pick which ones you want to go, and you're going to alternate. So I'm going to go red, white, red. Red on that top bit. I'm going to go red on the belly of this swallow. I'm going to go red in here and red, just those top feathers just there, I think. Little reds in the background. There. Reds in the bottom of this dagger and over the heart. Just like so. And yeah, let's get some red in the gloves. switch down to it's like a lightly kind of pink now to kind of blend this out. You can use your blender, but I just want to switch down. It's like a pinkish kind of tone, just get a little blend. Then once that's pretty much done, go down to like a fleshy kind of tone. So let's go for, yeah, we'll do light lavender. Just to blend it out a little bit more. So we've got that. So the rest of the red's going to be blending. So I'm going to get an orange in between some of these. So I'm going to go red, orange, and into yellow. So for like, so the lightning bolt. So we're going to go red, red, red. I'm going to work that orange over the top to kind of blend it. You have to work pretty quick with markers because if you take too long, they're going to like dry. And once they dry, that blend won't go smooth. So you can always take it one bit at a time if you just work a little bit slower. Now, I tend to be quite rapid fire on markers. I don't kind of hang about. What was the bit I said? I was going to blend out. Oh, completely lost track of where I was now. Oh yeah, the flames up here. So I'm going to go red. Now a lot of people ask me like, like which way around should flames go? Should go like, red at the tips or red at the base? Honestly, whichever one you fancy, like both look good, like there is no like right or wrong answer to it. Now, as long as you're having fun with it, that's mainly what thing that counts. So I've got red. It's red on our pepperoni. Because it's traditional, well, we are being quite selective with the colours. Like a lot of, you get a lot of time with traditional. Like if you can just kind of limit yourself to cover colours, it looks really good. So don't always feel like you have to go insane with the colours. Does that. I'm going to get orange to begin with. I'm just going to kind of go over that shadow. And then into the yellow. Gamble out. Same thing with like piece now. So where we kind of have those dark areas, I'm just going to throw a little bit of orange just over those bits. And a few bits just here and there, just kind of a slight different sort of tone and change. Tone and change? Change in tone. I think I need some sleep. And just blast it over the yellow. I always prefer a stronger yellow to a weaker yellow. Gonna make one little exception. It's gonna add a little bit of brown. Nothing crazy, just a bit of brown for the crust. I think that's all of my red. So it's going to come in a few yellow bits now. So we have yellow on the base, yellow on the base, yellow on the tip of the wings, yellow on the tip of the wings. Yellow on the glove. Yellow on the centre bit there. Gold tooth. Goes one up. Can go there, can go there. Ooh. Excuse the butterfly is really messy. you know, so just excuse that. Actually, no, I'm going to use the brown again because I want it in the, down here, I forgot. Yeah, cool, so I can go in there. Where else do I want a yellow? There's a few areas. Yellow on the handle. Yellow on that tippet just there. Yellow just there. And I think that might deal with the yellow now. So where was that green I got? 'Cause I want that. Yeah, it's cool green. I like that one. So let's go for the green. Just going to bolt that in there. In these side parts. Now I'm going for the quick option, which is like the bold colouring, you know, but you can always be more selective if you want. They can always do like kind of little skin breaks and stuff like that, which is always cool. Pretty much all the leaf areas are going to be green. I'm really liking this green as well. It's a really nice kind of earthy green. Quite a fan of that. Go there, can go there. Might put in a lighter actually. I wouldn't normally go green and lighter, but I'm really quite liking this green. I just want to use it some more. Great little highlight on that edge. Same thing there. Ah, god damn it, I went over to the yellow. And then where did I put that blue? There we go. Mini blue, and I want to get like a nice light one as well, because I just want to blend out some of this. So I'm going to go into that diamond now, because I want that diamond blue. So I'm going to go over that initial shadow, just till I get just a tiny bit past those shadows. Except this top, I was going to put a bit of blue just in the center of that, because it's being too dark. Switch into my lighter blue. Just really working over it and doing a little highlight just on the edges. Just there and there. Where else would the blue look good? Let's get a little bit of it in this wave. Just add a little bit more colour to the Lighthouse one. That's good, that's good. A bit of yellow just in the gum. Orange made into the Lighthouse bit just there. And lastly, if I can find my yellow again. There you go, just an eye. I think that'll do it, people. That's not too bad. You know, we've done pretty good with that. You know, we've done 20 quick, real nice quick designs there. Again, it's really good practice, you know, not really thinking about it too much, not taking yourself too seriously. But yeah, I hope you like that, people. If you like it, make sure you check out my stuff. And if you like my channel, make sure you subscribe. Check out for more stuff. There's always more comments and more comments. There's definitely comments coming, but there's more videos coming all the time, people. And if there's anything you want to learn about, make sure you let me know. Comment below. I can add it to my list. The whole thing is about helping you guys. So whatever you guys struggle with is what I always sort of try and aim for. But for now, people, that is 20 quick traditional kind of flash designs, just kind of made up on the spot. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you tag me in the ones you do, and I'll see you next time. Peace.